Aristotle begins Book 2, Chapter 6 of the Nicomachean Ethics by reminding us that human virtue is a state of the human soul. But what sort of state? He provides analogous cases in which the virtue of an organ or an animal is the state that helps the organ or animal perform its characteristic function well. The virtue of the eye is the state of the eye by which it sees well. The virtue of the horse is the state of the horse by which it runs well and carries a rider well. In both these cases, we might identify a thing's virtue state with its state of health and well-being. When a thing has all it needs to flourish and is not afflicted by any disease or injury that interferes with its characteristic function, then that thing is in its virtue state. It is able to act and fulfill its nature. Thus, Aristotle concludes that human virtue will be that state of the human soul by which human beings perform their characteristic human activity well. Aristotle then introduces the idea of the mean, a central concept in his ethical theory. He notes that there are two types of mean, absolute and relative to us. The absolute mean is the arithmetical mean, the point exactly halfway between the two extremes. 6 is the absolute mean between 2 and 10. The mean relative to us is what we are concerned with in ethics, Aristotle says. If 2 pounds of food is too little and 10 pounds is too much, it would be foolish to take the arithmetical mean and say everyone should eat 6 pounds of food. Need for food varies with individual circumstances. So, a proper or moderate amount will be the mean relative to each person, more for an athlete, less for a child. In ethics, as in every other science and skill, we can fail by excess or by deficiency. The expert is the one who knows the real objects of the science well enough to consistently judge the relative mean in every case. So, the expert physician or trainer can determine how much and what kind of food is appropriate for each patient's circumstances. We want to acquire that type of good judgment with regard to ethical behavior. Then, Aristotle gives an eloquent description of what it means to get virtues of character right, to hit the target, so to speak. He writes, "I am talking here about virtue of character, since it is this that is concerned with feelings and actions, and it is in these that we find excess, deficiency, and the mean. For example, fear, confidence, appetite, anger, pity, and in general, pleasure and pain can be experienced too much or too little, and in both ways not well. But to have them at the right time, about the right things, towards the right people, for the right end, and in the right way, is the mean and best, and this is the business of virtue." At 1107a, Aristotle restates his definition of virtue. Virtue, then, is a state involving rational choice, consisting of a mean relative to us and determined by reason, the reason, that is, by reference to which the practically wise person would determine it. It is a mean between two vices, one of excess, the other of deficiency. In ethics, as in archery, there are many ways to miss the mark and only one way to hit it. Some of our actions miss the relative mean by being excessive, with too much fear or anger or pleasure. Other actions miss the relative mean by deficiency of these same emotions or qualities. To be good people, we need to become skilled at judging, feeling, and acting according to the mean, in the right way, at the right time, etc. In the final two paragraphs of chapter 6, Aristotle notes that not every human action or feeling has a virtuous mean. Some actions are depraved in themselves and should never be done by a good person. There is no mean for murder or adultery, for example. It is not possible to commit murder in the right way, at the right time, etc. To do any of these actions even once is to miss the mark of human excellence. In a similar vein, Aristotle notes that there is no virtuous mean for being a coward. One cannot be a coward in the right way, at the right time, etc. Being a coward is, in reality, the deficient state of being courageous. The coward has too little boldness in the face of danger. while the courageous person has just the right amount of boldness. We will learn more about different virtues and their corresponding vices of excess and deficiency next in Chapter 7. That's my quick overview of Book 2, Chapter 6 of Aristotle's Nicomachean Ethics. I hope you found it helpful. Thanks for watching today. Goodbye.